Norris, who has been impressive this weekend, starts on the 4th row of the grid, cart number 52. And then we've got Matthias Christensen, number 46, and Nathan Hedwin, number 65 on row 5. On row 6, Maximilian Schmidt, number 61, and Rinus van Kalmthu, number 32. On row 7, Damian Wisnicki, number 41, and Marvin Pionka, number 70. On row 8, Thomas Salva, number 16, and Eline Shehin, number 36. And then on row 9, 42, Tristan Charpentier and Clement Novalak, number 18. Row 10, we've got Max Aitken. A long way down the grid to what we'd expect here. He finished 5th in the championship last year. He finished 5th in this race here, and he's the top-seeded returning driver, which is to say the top 4 last year have all moved on. Harry Webb, who won the championship, having moved into seniors, for example. And Max didn't go so well in qualifying yesterday, but he did top the warm-up this morning, which will give him a much better feeling coming into this race. So number 5, I think, is going to be one to keep an eye on coming through the field here from the 10th row of the grid. Max Aitken, Gavin Reichelt, number 74, alongside him on row 10. And then on row 11, 49, Lorenzo van Riet, Michael McCarthy, number 56. On row 12, Ed Tansley, number 71, and Eric Stahl, number 67. Row 13, Michals Budovic and Rokas Bakiutska, they're 54 and 76 respectively. Martin Tsetsk, number 29, and Anton Astashenko, number 64, are on row 14. On row 15, Lars van Vark, number 50, and Savannah Megan Courtney is on row 15 as well, in cart 35. Row 16 is Denise de Rouge, number 24, and Jonathan Udek, number 72. And alone on row 17, Alessandro Sturra. And they are about to go on to the second formation lap here. So quite a quick warm-up lap just to generate a bit of heat in the tyres and the brakes, but now they'll start to punch it all up, Ken.
Denise de Roy on row 16 in cart number 24. The message that she gave us: I'm looking for a boyfriend, but he's got to be fast. Well, Denise, you've given us the message. We've passed it on. Good luck to you. Good luck to the other lady in the race, just in the row in front of you, Savannah Courtney. But at the sharp end, Josh Price will start this one on pole position and joined on the front row by Shanaka Clay. Jack McCarthy and Yuri Vips are row 2. Berkay Besler and Nick Dunker. Nick DeRolo, we've been told to call him. Nick Dunker is his real name. Nick DeRolo is nickname. With Berkay Besler, he's on row 3. Dennis Tice and Lando Norris, row 4. Matthias Christensen and Nathan Edouin of France completing the top 10 on row 5. This is a 7-lap race for the juniors. They're the juniors in groups A and B. Any idea that all race drivers are good racers but got no brains? Forget it. Cart number 71 on row 12 is Ed Tansley. He's a member of Mensa. Wow. Which begs the question, why do you go kart racing? Okay, here we go. Well, that looks a rather uneven break, and it's no surprise to learn that the start was aborted. And whilst everything that Chris and I tell you is unofficial, I don't think we'll be a million miles off the mark in saying that start was aborted because the formation was not level.
Yeah, the pole side of the grid was a good 2 kart lengths clear, wasn't it? That's not necessarily the kart on pole, Josh Price, going too fast. It may be that Janica Clay's side of the grid wasn't keeping up well enough. So
it's fair comment that you said, Chris, but in fact we are learning that it was too fast on the right-hand side by pole position. The approach too fast on the right-hand side, right. The reason for the aborted start. So
not too many of those, and you're going to be in trouble with the officials. Bit of perhaps over-eagerness from Josh Price here. Don't forget, I mean, he has had an international debut racing with a lot of these guys in Spain last month in the Winter Cup, and doing very well, winning the pre-final, winning some heats. But this is his first real big meeting, big international meeting. Shanika Clay, I guess a familiar name alongside him, coming from the UK as well. 27 is the number of Josh Price, and 79, Shanika Clay. You see the field running through there. They're all well bunched up now. To be fair, they were well bunched up for 95% of the previous lap, but just coming out of the last corners where it got spread out a little bit. Here they are coming towards you. To the right of your shot, that is Josh Price, and to the left of your shot is the second placeman on the grid, Shanika Clay. So they go through there now. Right behind Josh Price is another Brit, Jack McCarthy. Yuri Vips, number 31, is on row 2. as well. And he's a former Estonian champion and it's going very well this weekend. One or two drivers tapping each other on the rear bumper. See a few heads sort of being forced forward. One of them getting a bit of a clout there, look like Nick Duncan, number 66. But they're all nicely bunched up this time, Ken.
And we certainly hope we get them away nicely. So, Josh Price on pole position and Shanaka Clay joining him. Here we go. That looks a lot more level. And we are not racing. We are not racing. That is another aborted start. Now the red light goes on, as well as the flashing amber. It may be that the officials, maybe Mr. Thomas Priner will feel he wants a word with the front row. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, third time lucky, hopefully then. And if it gets too much, it won't keep going round and round. Eventually they'll stop them and start shouting at them, the officials. So hopefully they'll get it right this time. They weren't too far away on that occasion. I've had a tweet from Gear Menswear from Jeff Fawcett in the UK. Nice to hear you guys in Genk. Best wishes from UK Team Fawcett. Tom Fawcett was former British champion in kart racing. Good to hear you listening back there in the UK. Hello, Jeff. Racer himself in the Fun Cup and a champion. And I've got some listeners in Australia as well who are very happy with Pierce Lehane's heat coming from 10th to finish 3rd. So hello to you guys in Australia. Guessing it's a bit warmer where you are than where we are. Here they come then. And the front row men are doing a decent job most of the time to get them bunched up here. Hopefully they will get it right this time. This is why you can't run your fuel levels too low, isn't it, Ken, in case you run out. Okay, you can see them coming towards your shot there then. Look tiny, don't they, when you've got the marshals stood up next to them. But Josh Price, ready to go, ready to see what he can do. He's proven that he's quick already. Has he got the racecraft? He's got plenty of experience back home, that's for sure, in terms of national racing. Josh Price with the pink helmet, black race suit. Next to him with the blue race suit, Shanaka Clay. Right behind him, the green Tony Kart colours, Yuri Vips. And then you've got Jack McCarthy on that second row of the grid as well. Shorter laps, the shorter races for the juniors. Only a 7-lap race compared to 10-lap heats for the seniors. Here we go then, Josh Price. I think they've got it nailed this time. The red lights go out and they build up the speed, a crescendo of noise. Josh Price leading the way into turn 1. Shanaka Clay on the outside of the front row. Is a big pilot behind from the middle of the field. We got 4, 5, 6 karts off there at turn 1. Yellow flags waving, but Josh Price is leading the way. Jack McCarthy is the one that's got into second place there. He's got ahead of Shanaka Clay. Shanaka just on the outside there, getting balked out a bit and has dropped, I think, down to 4th place as they come through. Becky Bessler, I think, has made a good start as well. And so the pole sitter leading them down through to turn 6. Then this right, left, right flick they go. He's under attack, though, from McCarthy already. Oh, somebody's hit the barriers through the middle of the field. 2 karts off. Okay, we've got 3 others running wide as well further down the order. So about 12 karts have been involved in one incident or another further down the field, which is why it's great to be at the front of the field and qualify well, because you avoid all of that. Price then leading the way through. He comes at the start of this race. Lando Norris is the one that's made the best start. Look, he's gained 5 or 6 places. He's there in second place ahead of Jack McCarthy now. And then in 4th place, it's Berke Bessler, another one to make a good start. Top 3 going to the first corner, braking very late. There is Lando Norris trying to keep McCarthy behind him, trying to find a way past the race leader, Josh Price. The top 6 are all still bunched together. Shanaka Clay has dropped down to 9th place at the end of lap 1, Ken.
Well, there goes Lando Norris bidding to take the lead and executes it. And Josh Price was the only one of the 3 pole sitters so far that didn't jump out into a big, big lead. And at an early stage, he'd got Jack McCarthy chasing him. Then Lando Norris appeared on the scene. And, well, the little half-pint size kid. And it gets worse for the pole sitter because Jack McCarthy, I think, is the guy who's gone through. This is the part of the circuit you see on screen that Chris and I don't see for real. They emerged back into sight now. That's clearly kart number 52 in the lead, and that's Lando Norris. He started on the outside of the 4th row in a nominal 8th place, therefore, and he's built up a lead of a dozen lengths.
And Yuri Vips has just come into the pits with a problem from the second row of the grid. So 31 Yuri Vips is out of the race. Lando Norris then leading the way. Josh Price trying to hang on to second place now from McCarthy, who's right on his tail. Up into fourth place, we've got the number 32 card of Reiners van Kalmthoe, who's come from the 6th row of the grid. Along the back straight they go. We've got nearly a second advantage now for the race leader. Almost a change for second place there, but late enough on the brakes. Actually, it's a yellow flag zone, so he couldn't overtake there. So Josh Price is able to hang on to his position, but third and fourth are definitely nipping at his heels. Max Aitken, I reckon, was one of the drivers that got caught up in that first lap barging incident. He was towards the back, well, midway through the field anyway, but he's only 19th at the moment in the number 5 kart.
And confirmation that when you called Yuri Vips going out, he was also one of those that were caught in the melee. We have virtually lost Tristan Charpentier, if not actually lost him, Chris.
McCarthy's just run wide there and lost the place. He's down to 4th place. He's just been passed by Van Kalmthoe. He's up to 3rd, Ken.
Just having a look at the others, Denise DeRoy, one of the ladies, she was involved in the scrap. And we called Jack McCarthy now. I'm saying Jack McCarthy. That's kart number 56. Reading that a little bit incorrectly. That's Michael McCarthy from the United States, was one who was caught in the problem. He's still running. He's in the top 30, but I think there's only one driver, 2 drivers behind. That's Denise DeRoy and kart number 61, which is Daniel Luco. No, it isn't. It's 61 is Maxi Schmidt. That's right. So Lando Norris building on this lead over Josh Price, but the Dutchman Van Kalmthoe making his presence felt in 3rd place.
Exactly halfway into the race. 3.5 laps done. 3.5 laps to go. Coming into your shot there. This is into the final corner. That is Lando Norris, who started this race from 8th place. And he took 2 laps to get into the lead of the race. The pole sitter Josh Price is 2nd. In 3rd place, it's the Dutch Minimax champion, which is number 32. From the 6th row of the grid, Reiners van Kalmthoe doing very well there in 3rd place. And up to 4th place now is Nick Dunker. And Dennis Thies is doing well as well. And another Dutch driver up into the top 6 runners. Progress for Max Aitken up to 18th. Not very quick.
Just bring you an update, Chris. Yuri Vips, who went off as a result of that shunt early on, it broke the radiator. It had split the radiator. The radiator's leaking. Just couldn't continue with that. So Yuri Vips, who had qualified to start on the 2nd row and was handily placed early on, out of the race as a result of that shunt, broken radiator.
Yeah, it was bad news for the top 2 drivers on that side of the grid. Shanaka Clay dropped back. Yuri Vips had those problems, but Lando Norris was also on that side of the grid and was able to make amends. Yeah. McCarthy runs wide, coming out into the last corner. He's hanging on the inside line, but he's going to run wide now and he's going to lose a position here. So going backwards at the moment is McCarthy, and the one that passed him was Pionka. Christensen's gone past him. Clay is back up into the top 6 now as well. Just a couple of laps to go. We've got an incident coming out of the hairpin. 2 karts come together and just about get going again. And McCarthy was one of them, number 44. The race is going from bad to worse for him. And I think number 70, Marvin Pionka, was the other. Yes, they were together on track, weren't they?
Jack McCarthy picking up a driving standards flag, Chris. The black and white flag being held by Thomas Priner at the start-finish line will be shown to kart 44, Jack McCarthy. So down in 9th place wouldn't have been where he would hope to be. And picking up a driving standards flag is not what he would wish. Remember, this is cumulative. Pick up too many of these warning flags. It's like the yellow card in football. And Jack McCarthy and the approach to lap 7, the start of the last lap, gets the driving standards flag.
Fastest lap of the race has gone to Shanaka Clay on lap 5 with a 56.938. So on the pace with the race leaders and making some progress back up the order now, having had that bad start to the race. Up to 5th place now for Shanaka Clay, number 79. The gap between the top 2, you can see them coming into the hairpin. The right-hander was 0.6 of a second at the start of the lap, but it's coming down all the time, Ken, on this final lap of the race. I think he's quite going to have the time, is he? But certainly Josh Price has got the measure in terms of lap times here of the race leader, Lando Norris. Half a lap to go, Ken.
Yes, and just before we call the race at its finish, well done to Eline Shehan, the lady from Holland, who I overlooked yesterday when I was talking about the girls from Holland. She's in the top 10, running in 8th place, and just outside the top 10, the driver from the United States, Gavin Reichelt, going well. But Chris, here's the finish of our first junior race.
Yeah, great start to the weekend for Lando Norris, who takes the checkered flag, wins the first junior heat. 2nd place to Josh Price, who held his own there from the pole position. 3rd across the line is Van Kalmthoe, the number 32 kart, and that is a good drive from somebody who stepped up from Minimax from the younger age group. Reiners van Kalmthoe, the Dutch driver, 3rd place. 4th place to Dennis Thies from Holland as well. You can see there on your screen. Running out the top 6 with Shanika Clay and Nick Dunker. Max Aitken made a bit of progress in the end. He came back up to 15th place. But the two that came together, McCarthy and Pionka, end up 14th and 16th respectively. So the seniors didn't have too many issues really in terms of incidents. The juniors, first time out, have had quite a few on that first lap. I think there were 3 separate incidents, one of which took 6 or 7 carts out. So you were the right place to be, was at the front of the field in that one. There's confirmation of the results. These are all pre-scrutineering, don't forget. So they're all provisional results. Lando Norris and Josh Price, the top 2 for RL Racing and Chris Rogers Motorsport, respectively. And yes, the gap did come down on that last lap or two from nearly 7/10 of a second down to 4/10. So Josh had good pace. Reinus van Kamthut and Dennis Tietz, the 2 Dutch drivers for Team TKP, 3rd and 4th. Channica Clay recovering to 5th place. Nick Dunker for Dream Team Racing was 6th. Matthias Christensen, the Dane, was 7th for RS competition. Eileen Shehin finishing in 8th place. And then also in the top 10, Nathan Hedwin for Art Grand Prix. And the American Gavin Reichout for Dan Holland Racing in 10th.
Okay, Tiff Chittenden talking to Lando Norris, I do believe. Lando having made a very, very good opening drive. Tiffany's with Lando Norris now.